Hey y'all, welcome back. Southern Beer Review with you again, and we are moving on to beer number 3 in our first Porch series. Again, we are reviewing 4 beers from the Creature Comforts Brewery in Athens, Georgia. We've done 2 already, the Berliner Weiss and the Pale Ale, and this will be beer number 3 again in our first Porch series, and it's called Tropicalia IPA. So John happens to know a lot more about this than I do because he's actually had it before. So I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about it.
I encountered this beer actually when I was in Athens. My wife and I took a trip there. Probably, it was well before COVID, so maybe around 2018 as an estimate. And we happened to find it on draft there at a local bar. And at the time, my wife and I were just real big IPA fans. She's still a huge IPA fan. I still appreciate IPAs, but I don't drink them nearly as much as I used to. But this was our favorite IPA, and still her favorite IPA. I haven't had it in a few years, so I'm anxious to see what I think of it now. It's very well regarded in the South as one of the best IPAs that you can get, and it's about 6.6%. And just according to the can here, it's aromatic, ripe and juicy, and balanced.
And again, we've mentioned this on some of our videos before, but I think we're kind of on the backside of the IPA craze that started about 7 or 8 years ago. I went through a stage where I drank a lot of IPAs, like that style, and I still do. I still do appreciate a good IPA, but I'm looking forward to this because this is a beer I've never had before.
But hold yours up to get a better look at the color because his is a clear glass.
Yeah, again, a little, a tad hazy, but typical IPA color, and the aroma. It does smell. It does have a good aroma.
I like the smell.
I will say that. Right off the bat, not too terribly hoppy for an IPA. Not overly.
This is the balance I think I was looking for in the Pale Ale that didn't feel quite as balanced as this. This feels like it has a malt presence.
I'm tasting the malt. A hint of caramel, whether it's there or not. That's what I'm getting. Almost like a darker beer, I guess, with the caramel and the malt.
But still very. It's definitely an IPA. It's definitely got a good hoppiness. But it's a balance. It's balanced. It's not just one note to me. And I don't know. For some reason, I get just a hint of sweetness that I enjoy. That I like a lot here.
There's a fruity sensation in this as well.
Very drinkable.
Very drinkable.
I've had like 3 big gulps already. I like it. Right? It's as I remember. I can remember now why this was one of my favorite IPAs.
And I think a lot of people have a love-hate relationship with IPAs. People sometimes get turned off with the excessive hoppiness flavor. Of course, that's where IPA comes from. Obviously, a long time ago when the British sailors were sailing to India and they had to put extra hops in the beer to keep it fresh. That's where it comes from anyway. So an IPA is going to be hoppier, and double IPAs even more so. But this one is balanced, like John said.
And
it's hoppy, but it's also drinkable.
Yeah, this is more in line with an IPA that the style of IPAs I've always enjoyed. It seems a little bit more on the West Coast side of things than like a hazy East Coast kind of thing. And it's got a good bold hoppiness about it, but it's also balanced, and it's not overwhelmingly. I'm not overwhelmed by fruit. Sometimes, even though you do get the name Tropicalia, and it does have an orangey kind of presence to it, it's not an overwhelming kind, and it's just nice balanced IPA, I think.
And if done right, like this one, there's a way, as all you know that drink IPAs, there's a way to balance a fruity IPA with other ingredients, different types of hops from different parts of the country or Europe, and then the caramel and the malts that can kind of balance out the fruitiness. Because I'm not a big fan of the IPAs that just scream fruit.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll get to some of those down the road.
Yeah.
All right.
Strong selection here. I think this is probably my favorite of the 3 we've had from the box.
Me too.
So I'll start with my rating this time. I'm gonna go with a 7.5 on this one.
Yeah, that's a good one. A score didn't really hit me like it had the other 2, but Yeah, I think I'll go 7. I mean, it's really, really good. I would definitely come back to this one. Something I thought about too a minute ago is I would love to have this on draft to see what stands out if you actually go to Athens and go to the actual brewery itself. So again, averaged out, the Tropicalia IPA from Creature Comforts comes in at 7.25, which is that's a pretty admirable score. Very drinkable. So
We've got one left in this series, Porch series on the Creature Comforts, and that'll be the Bebo Pilsner.
yeah,
So that'll be up next.
Yeah,
So then we'll try to give you an overall impression of the pack, whether you should buy it or not, and that sort of thing.
yeah. So again, we appreciate you tuning in to our first Porch series. Again, this is beer 3 of what will be 4 in our Creature Comfort series. So we appreciate you watching. Thanks for sticking around.
Yep.